Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everybody. Can y'all hear me clearly? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, good. Thanks again for joining. I hope everybody's having a blessed day so far. Let me see who we have in the chat so far. So it looks like we have SBK. I'm willing to bet that he is working while listening. We have I Said What I Said. How are you doing this evening? We have Larry King. Hey, Larry, welcome. Welcome back. We have Shadow. Hey, Shadow. How are you today? We have Thrive and Glow with Joe. Hey, Joe. Welcome back. How are you today? We have Real Eyes and Evens. Hey, Real. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. And we have Jackson Tabasco. Thank you for joining again. I appreciate you all for joining the live, and it is my prayer that someone receives something that they may need or they may want to share with someone else who may need this live. So, the question of the day is, what is your biggest fear? Oh, thanks, Real. What is your biggest fear? I'm waiting for some answers. Well, I want to live with people who have absolutely no fears. Again, the question is, what is your biggest fear? I know we had a live not long ago where we talked about people being afraid of flying. That's a good one. I said what I said. I said, will my kids be able to stand on their own if I am not here? Yeah, I think a lot of parents, if not most parents, sort of feel that way. We want our kids to be able to stand on their own. So Jackson Tabasco says, mine used to be deaf, but I have been delivered from that. I can't think of one now. Okay. Larry King says, dying without a relationship with God. SBK says, I said what I said, same here. Bill says, God tells us not to fear. Anybody else want to chime in? Well, I'll move on. So I'll say the truth of the matter is that many people deal with fear and anxiety. Far too many go undiagnosed and untreated because of the stigma attached to mental health, especially in the Black community. So I said what I said. Says, real, he does, but do we really take heed to that? Joe says she fears to get overwhelmed with fear. Okay. So I want to um, wait for a couple more people to get here before I start this video. Um, I'm going to play a short video. It's probably about 3 minutes. And then after the video, I want to come back. Feel free to take notes as you're watching the video. I'm going to come back and see if anybody got anything from the video. So instead of me waiting, I'm going to go ahead and get started. SBK says, my number one fear is to leave this earth with my daughter in this messed up world we live in. I get that. Well, before I go on with the video, I'll just say that my biggest fear is similar to what I guess others have said. But my biggest fear is to leave this earth without fulfilling my purpose in life and not touching the people that God has assigned to me in my life to touch. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start this video. I need y'all to put a 2 in the chat if you can hear the video once I start it.
Sometimes we can fall into a pattern of making decisions based on fear, but fear can prevent us from doing the things that we most want to do and narrow our experience of everyday life. So how do we help a client who's to work through fear so that it no longer holds them back? Well, Lynn Lyons used a playful technique to help one client face her fear in a creative way.
I had a woman come to see me, and she was in her late 60s and had a long history of anxiety and depression, and had been on this med and that med, and had been to therapy in 1970 and then again in 1983, and had sort of managed it okay. But she had developed really unexpectedly, with no, sort of cause, and people like to try and figure out what caused the anxiety, and I find that to be, it's interesting, but not really necessarily accurate or helpful. She had developed a fear of driving, particularly on the highway, which she had been able to manage for a few years. She had moved back to New Hampshire. She had actually driven across the country and moved back here, so it wasn't really a problem a few years ago. But here came this fear, and it was just, same church, different pew. Her daughter was going to become pregnant soon. So her daughter was at the time when she was planning to have a family, and her daughter lived about 15 miles away. And the reason she came to see me is that this fear of driving is going to get in the way of me being able to see my grandchild. And so I need to address it. And so she came to see me, and she had worked previously on it. They had done a lot of sort of breathing and calming stuff, which was sort of helpful, but not all that helpful. The therapist had her sit in the garage in her car and do her breathing, and had given the instruction of, when you feel calm, then back out of the driveway and head on your drive. Right? Well, that's not good. How many times has she gone on a drive? Zero. Because how many times has she felt calm and confident sitting in the driver's seat? So did the same thing. We pulled her worry out. I forget, she named it Edith or something, and gave a voice to Edith, made Edith into this character. I often ask people, is there somebody in your life who, when they talk, you are like, oh, not such good advice? Is there somebody who, when they talk, you sort of nod politely, but you don't listen to what they say? Let's fashion your anxiety after that. And I said, I want you to get in the car, and I want you to invite Edith to go along with you. Turn to Edith. And I said, I want you to literally turn to Edith and say, Edith, I'm glad you're coming along on this drive. Fasten your seatbelt, please. Right? I'm not putting you in charge. I want to see my granddaughter. You're not particularly invested in that. So you can come along as a passenger, but I'm taking charge. And Edith is gonna be there. You're gonna feel, like this. And then you're gonna put the car in reverse and you're gonna drive. And she came back to see me about 2 weeks later, and she said, I don't know if I'm doing it right. I said, what do you mean? She said, I didn't really feel all that anxious when I got in the car. I know I'm supposed to sort of invite Edith along and feel my worry, but I didn't really feel that badly. And she had gone on like 5 drives in the time that I had seen her.
As Lynn explained, naming and addressing their fears can help our clients begin to break free from them. Now we'd like to hear from
Hey, Miss Buckeye. How are you today? Thank you for joining. Yeah, out of that video that you want to share, you don't mind sharing in the chat. Hey, Charlie's Angel, how are you today? Thank you for joining. It's good to see you again. SBK said Manic Keys. Oh, Charlie's Angel says she likes that idea. Anybody else before I say something? Will there be another? No? No one else? Okay. Let me go ahead. So I'll say one thing that stood out for me about this video is that the patient was in her 60s. In my opinion, your age, gender, race, or religious beliefs should not stop you from getting the help that you need. I know that Real was saying that the Bible tells us that we shouldn't fear. Let me see if I can find your comment, Real, so that I can read exactly. Okay, you said God tells us not to fear. The Bible does tell us not to fear. But people do have fears. That's just reality. Thank you. I said what I said. That's just reality. People do have fears. So today's scripture verse comes from Psalm 34:4. And it's the NLT version. It says, I prayed to the Lord and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears. So many of us have been taught just pray, right? And I am an advocate for prayer. I know how prayer works. Hey, El Cid, thank you for joining. How are you today? I know that prayer works. It has worked in my life. Yes, thank you, Jackson Tabasco. But when you are experiencing things like fear and anxiety, I believe that your prayer should be asking God to lead you to the right professional or professionals who may be able to help you. Now, if you broke your arm or your leg, would you just pray for healing and not seek medical attention? I'm going to pause for a minute while someone answers that question. Question again, if you broke your arm or leg, would you just pray for healing and not seek medical attention? Because God is a healer, right? He absolutely is a healer. So Jackson Tabasco said, he gave us wisdom. Y'all better go to a doctor. Let me read that again. She said, he gave us wisdom. Y'all better go to a doctor. So Larry King said yes. I said what I said, nope. I will pray for the full strength and use of my arm. You wouldn't go to the doctor. Okay, you different. Okay. No judgment here. I just believe for the most part, okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. With the assistance of a doctor also. Okay. Whew. Thank you for clarification. So I believe for the most part, people would choose to not just pray, but to see a medical professional that's going to help them. Because how many know that if you have a broken bone and you don't get that treated, that you could have some permanent damage? That's what I've been told. I'm not a doctor, but I believe the doctor. Um, I have experience wearing a cast in my life. So, yeah, there you go. Now, I would never advise anyone not to pray. Of course, I know I know I said what I said. Thank you for the reminder. But again, I would never advise anyone not to pray because I know that prayer really does change things. That has been my life's experience. But we must also do our part, such as seeking the help from a qualified professional that can help us. I'm going to tell y'all about, I'm not sure of anyone else who saw this video that I recently watched on YouTube. I don't think I found the video on YouTube. I think it was something, it might have been some local news or something and a video was attached. But anyway, this video really saddened me because it was a young man. Um, he was in DC. He was, I believe he was in his 20s. And this young man was a father of two. His oldest child was a little girl. I'm not sure of how old the daughter is, but I believe that he was a teen parent. His youngest one was a little boy, and this young man was a rapper. Well, his youngest son, who looked just like him, he had a paternity test done to make sure that was his son, but the little boy looked just like him. Anyway, when the son was about 2 years old, I believe, he was diagnosed with cancer. And I think he passed like a little over a year later. Matter of fact, he passed in January 2024. Well, the father, young man, took it very hard, and he spoke at his son's funeral. He said that his son changed his life. He said that if it hadn't been for his son, he probably would not have been there at, standing today, because he was in the streets, and because he was taking care of his son, spending time with his son, he wasn't out in the streets getting in trouble. And so he's one thing that caught me, that kind of bothered me. One thing that kind of bothered me was that he didn't really speak much about his daughter, who was his firstborn. Like I said, I'm not sure how old the daughter is, but he just seemed to really he seemed to be really close and really loved his son. So much so that I believe it was this month. It was either June or July. Let me see. It was July of this year, which was like 18 months after his son passed. He went to his son's gravesite, and he took his life. He unalived himself. This left his daughter fatherless, which is sad. Um, it's sad to me that he didn't think about his daughter. I know that he loved his son, as a mother of more than one child. I just think that he should have thought about his daughter as well. Perhaps he didn't have a close relationship with his his daughter, because he was a teenager, and maybe, I'm sure that relationship didn't work. And sometimes mothers don't allow their children to have a relationship with the father, especially teenage fathers. And maybe they didn't have a relationship, but that relationship could have developed. But I was truly saddened by that story, not just because of that he left his daughter fatherless. Prayerfully, she has another man in her life, another male role model that will, step in, fill the gap of a father. But what really bothered me was that obviously he was suffering because of the loss of his son. And I guess he was pretty well known um, as a rapper. He had been on radio shows and some stuff about him that I'm not going to mention. But I guess quite a few people knew him. And it bothers me that people who may have known him and was around him didn't try to help him, realize that your baby boy may be gone, but you still have a lot to live for. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because a lot of times, especially, I'll say again, especially in the Black community, I'm not sure about other communities because I'm talking about my community. But a lot of times we think it's taboo, it's something that we don't want to talk about when it comes to mental health, when it comes to any kind of mental health. We find a lot of times we find it embarrassing. We don't want people to call us crazy or look at us as though we're weak. But if you see that somebody um, is suffering and they need help, if you really love that person, I think that you should do what you can to either convince that person to get help or to reach out to someone else that may be able to help that person. So, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put up on the screen um, the number, but the information for if you know someone who may be going through, who may need help with fear and anxiety in particular. Please take this information. You can screenshot it or whatever you need to do to, as a matter of fact, if you don't have this information already, please take it because you might be able to save someone's life. You may be able to help someone who is in denial. So I'm going to leave it up just for a minute. And if you need me to put it back up, just let me know and I'll put it back up. So let me, I know Real has comments. Let me see what Real said. He said, I have a theory on that. People think God isn't helping them and they think He isn't hearing them, yet He may say no because He has already given us the power to overcome certain things. And he also said, you're right, people play a role when they actually need help mentally, and because of pride and others, they hide it. And that is so very true. Pride. Pride can cause a lot of unnecessary things to happen to us needlessly. Hey Shay, happy Thursday. How are you today? Thank you for joining. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. So, yeah, if you know somebody who needs help, if you can help them in any way, do what you can. That's good, Shay. I have zero complaints. So, Real says, that's why I try to motivate and or help people to laugh because I see it all over. Right, Real. And yeah, laughter is good. But sometimes people, you know what people do, like you said about people hiding. Sometimes people will laugh and they'll seem like they're fine. And then when they get behind closed doors, then they'll go right back to how they were feeling before. And they don't reach out for help because they just feel like sometimes people don't want to be a burden. And sometimes people feel embarrassed. But just as you shouldn't be embarrassed that you broke your arm or leg, even if it was because of you doing something crazy, you shouldn't feel embarrassed by that. You would just go to the doctor and get it taken care of. So just as you would go to the doctor to get stuff like that taken care of, you should also seek help when it comes to your mental health because that is just as important. So Real says I deal with a lot of the I like to call people unhoused. So instead of saying what you said, Real, I'm going to say unhoused. Okay. So I saw a different side. Some are happy and some are lowly. Amen. I said what I said. We have to understand we can go to the doctor to fix our mind also. And then a brief story about something that happened in my past. I had a relative that was so, I'll say religious, that this person didn't believe right wise counsel. This person didn't believe that I should have allowed my child to get the medical treatment that I believe my child needed. And this relative made comments that I didn't really like. I let my child go through the treatment because I knew in my heart it was the best thing for my child. Sometimes we can get so caught up in this, and I called it this religious, not necessarily relationship, but this religious um, attitude that you don't need a doctor to do this and that. But I believe that God has his hands on these doctors and these mental health providers. Of course, some of them are out of place, but for the most part, I believe that God has anointed hands to help us because if he didn't, a lot of people would not have been healed from different things. I believe that's a direct result of prayer and trusting God. So God can heal your mind, he can heal your body, he can heal your soul. He is a healer all the way around. So, but God helps us through other people. So it's important that we trust God and trust him to lead us to the right people that are going to help us. And just as you see, if somebody fell from a tall building and you saw it, you would probably, if you had a phone, you would probably dial 911. So if you see that somebody needs help when it comes to their mental, why not dial the number that can help them, or at least try to talk to them to see if there's anything that you can do to help. Yes, God definitely uses people every day. And that's another thing I want to say is be careful how you treat others because you never know who that person is. That person could be an angel in the sky sent there to help you. And I commend you, Real, for helping the unhoused because a lot of people will look down on the unhoused. But the way this economy is going, the way um, that person sitting up in a people's house is carrying on, we all are going to need each other at one point or another. So the only time we should look down on anybody is to try to lift them up. And if you can't help that person personally, do your best to get them the help that they need. Maybe you have a friend that can help them, or a loved one, or a family member. Maybe you know somebody that can help that person. Maybe not you particularly, but maybe you know somebody that can help that person. And that's a blessing. So be nice to everybody. Be kind. Be kind to everybody, no matter who they are, from the janitor to the CEO and all in between. Be kind. So Real said, nope, don't commend me. Thank the creator. And I don't care what people think. I'll sit with them, smells and all. They are humans too. Amen. Amen. Then, like I was saying, I don't even know if I said it. got distracted by the man in the people's house. But like I said, like I was saying, a lot of us are perhaps just one or two paychecks from being one of those people. And perhaps some of us know how it feels. So treat people right, no matter who they are. Treat people right. And with that said, amen. You're real, you are a blessing for helping those. And praise God for anyone who has, excuse me, anyone who has been a blessing to someone else. Say that, I said what I said. You can be up today and down tomorrow. And tomorrow isn't promised. So, because tomorrow isn't promised, would you like to be remembered as someone who treated someone badly simply because they were not as well off, well connected as you? No. God created us all, and the blood was shed for everyone. So be there for people. If you can't provide financial resources and you know someone else who can, reach out. Also, it doesn't hurt to pray, because you can pray that God will send someone that can provide the resources that the person needs. So Real said it does give a good feeling, Shay, especially when you're knowing you're doing the work of the high, of the most high. It's like you're on autopilot or something. So whenever you can lend a helping hand, lend a helping hand. So I did not put the link in the chat today, but if anybody wants it, let me know. If not, we won't be on here much longer. That's so true, Real. You'd be surprised of what giving somebody a hug could mean to them, especially if they're living on the streets. Because a lot of people, I believe, they feel like nobody cares. They feel like they've lost all hope. But just let's all do our part to treat people the way that we would want to be treated. Imagine yourself being one of those people. How would you like for people, others, to treat you? And some of those people actually do need some kind of mental health assistance. Many are veterans, shamefully. Many of them are veterans. And unfortunately, our government doesn't really take care of our veterans like they should. Right, real. So I said what okay. Okay, I said what I said. I'll put the link in the chat. Yes, thank you, Shay. Thanks everybody. Matter of fact, let me do this for a minute while I put the hey April, how are you today? It's good to see you. Happy Thursday. I hope all is well. So while I copy this link and everything, I have something that I want to share with everyone who has joined this chat today, with everyone who may watch the replay, and for those who may be in the bushes. Hold up, let me. Okay, Shay B, drive safely. Be careful out there. Once again, thank you everyone for your support. The link is in the chat. Hey there, how are you?
Hey, Alice.
How are you? You muted yourself.
My bad. I'm sorry. I'm doing great, Alice. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I can't complain.
Yeah, me either. And plus, it won't do any good to do it
It won't.
anyway. Nah,
It
kind of learned that a
won't.
long time ago.
Yeah.
But happy Thursday, everybody.
Yeah. Happy Thursday. Happy
It's-
pre Friday.
yeah, almost the weekend, almost TGIF, baby. But
Yep.
I just wanted to come up and I'm not going to stay long because I know you don't want to be on here all day. But I just wanted to give like a brief statement. It was weird, well, not weird, but it's a coincidence that you had this live today, because I actually I wasn't really fearful or anything, but something just kind of happened to me last week. I'm always telling you guys that, and I know I shouldn't say this, but it's just how I feel. So if I feel this, there's no point in just trying to hide it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really like the job that God always have me doing, right? Because I don't like the caregiver job. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like that's what he wanted me to do, so I have to do it, right? And so, my father got sick or what have you, but he hasn't really been a father to me um, throughout my lifetime. He's always been, just thinking about himself and, living his life. And yeah, he acknowledged us, but that's basically all he's done.
Right.
I can count on one hand how many times he actually really did anything for me and my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found out that he was like kind of homeless, living on the streets, and then I found out that he had cancer in three different spots.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so this lady took his ex-girlfriend took a picture and sent it to us. And he's been having cancer, he's been in the hospital, so she sent us this real sad picture about on how he looked. He's all extra skinny, it just looked beautiful and sad and looked like he was on his way out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so and I was like, I'm still not gonna help him. I'm still not gonna do anything about this situation because he never thought about us. That's just how I was thinking. He never thought about us in our lifetime, and now all of a sudden, he wants everybody want us to help him. And it's not even so much us, they really want me to move.
Right.
Because in my family, everybody know that if anything is going to get done, I'm going to get it done, or it's not going to get done. So everybody was kind of waiting on me to move. So my cousin was calling, and my aunties, she sent the picture to a few people in our family. So my cousin called because they put her up. She's one of my best friends, so they put her up to calling me because they already know if anybody gonna make me move, it's gonna be her, And so they had her to call, and so she was like, "Yeah, I understand how you feel or whatever, but don't you feel bad for him?" I said, "Well, yeah, I feel bad for anybody in this position, but that doesn't, really move me to, make me just jump into action, and just to try to go rescue him just because he's in a bad spot." Because I've been in a plenty of bad spots in my lifetime, and he didn't come and jump and run to my rescue. And so, and she was like, that's tit for tat. I said, I understand that, but I do tit for tat sometimes, May not be right, but it is what it is. And so, so I really wasn't going to happen for real, y'all. I really wasn't. So what happened was God kept me up all night long. And I love to sleep. I love to sleep. That's me. I love to sleep. I'm mad if I can't sleep. So, baby, let me tell you something. Baby, he kept me up all night long. And then the next day, half of the next day, I couldn't sleep. I was like, okay, I give in. I'll help him. I'll help him. Because I just called my little half sister, which is his child also. And I just told her, she said, well, I can't. She said, I don't have that kind of heart. I said, what kind of heart are you talking about? I felt some type of way because she said that, but I knew exactly what kind of heart she was talking about. I just wanted to get a clarification. And she's like, no, I don't mean it like that. I just mean, I just can't leave him. I can't leave him in the streets like that or whatever. I said, okay, I understand. So she tried to get the job done, and she couldn't get it done because she's so young and she don't know anything about the system and, business or whatever. So, and she got off frustrated. Hey, Senna. She got off frustrated and couldn't get the job done. So I really basically, long story short, I had to step in and get those people right. Yeah, because they was just telling her, no, we can't get anything done. And so when Big Sis got on the phone, all of a sudden the answer changed. So now he's in a nursing home and, being taken care of properly. And so my little sister was just amazed. And she was like, I can't believe you got that done. I said, they just ran over you because they knew you were young and if you were frustrated and you were, they can tell, people can tell when you get frustrated or whatever. And they knew exactly how to play you. I say, but you see, they didn't play me because it's not my first rodeo. But just sometimes, like with Real said, he's helping people with the homeless or whatever. And I don't know if Real want to do this or not. I just know how I feel about my about what I gotta do. Okay, so this is just for me in my house. I just didn't want to do it, but I wound up having to do it, and it wasn't so bad. So and actually, I do feel better that he's not living in the streets because, like I said, whether he's a family member or not, I still wouldn't want to see anybody in the streets like that,
Right.
And so that's all I wanted to say. I'm not going to, I'll let Real give his speech or what have you. And basically, that's all. I just wanted to give that testimony today, since we up in the church and everything today. So.
Well, thank God for working on you.
Yep.
Shut up, Real. He didn't work on me. He didn't work on me. He whipped me, is what he did. I don't call that a working on. I call that getting whooped is what a whooping, because If he takes
Listen,
something away that you like, which is my sleep,
Uh-huh.
that's not working, sweetie. That's a whooping. Okay.
well, I mean, I get it. Or you could just look at it as like, a blessing and you're earning up your treasures inside,
Yeah.
heaven because what they say, faith without works. It's not
Child,
all the works, but just,
listen here, real. Listen here. I promise you, when and if I make it to heaven, I'm gonna be out there having to fix the gold road in my reflector jacket. Okay.
you might, because
He is
there's two different
he is
types of
not going
heaven.
I am not gonna be in one of the rooms in one of the mansion rooms, my father's house. There are many mansions. He gonna be
Yeah.
like, okay, you barely made it in. You go on out there and help fix the road. Is what he gonna have me
Well,
doing
that's what
more than likely.
you could be doing. Because remember,
Yeah.
there's a new heaven that's supposed to be rebuilt on earth.
Oh
There's the
yeah,
heaven
and
here.
I'm pretty
So
sure I
you
have
might
to
as well.
be and I'm
Yeah.
sure I would have to be one of the construction workers based on my work down here, all the work I have to do down here. I don't feel like I'm gonna get an easy job. I'm just saying.
You don't know. Like everything could be backwards. Like these people pointing around like, oh, I'm this, I'm righteous, and all this stuff. And then what if it's like backwards? And the people who are like, everybody think is this and that. You don't know what they're truly
I don't
doing.
know, but I'm just all I can do is base it on my hard job on this side of the earth. Okay, real. So that's the way I see it. And you could be right, and I hope you're right. But the way I'm looking at these things,
You
I'm
don't
gonna
know,
be
man.
I'm gonna be on construction.
Listen, it's better to be on construction or on the outside of the celestial crystal city cleaning that than to be in like darkness
I did
or
not
frozen
say
road.
I did not say I didn't want to. All I had said was I'm just not gonna have no easy job. That's all, and that's it. Don't put too much stock in it, real.
No, that's what the scriptures say. Or you might be a new creature. Who knows?
Oh
You don't
well,
know
who
what
knows?
you're
Who
gonna be.
knows? Who knows? But all I can do is base it on what I'm doing down. So that's the way I get my philosophy from. That's all. But
Yes.
what you have for us today? And leave
Oh
me alone. Look, and leave me
no, it's
alone.
not even that. No, there's nothing really too much
Look,
to say, but it's just
get off of me. He gonna tell us what you got to say.
no, but it's just like so when it comes to fear, I know people are like, oh, blah 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 this and blah 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 that. So what I have come to realize is that everyday things that we partake in and give our attention to helps to create that fear. So then once I started realizing this, what I started doing for myself was I started telling myself, it's like, what do I have to be afraid for? It's just like we all live, we all perish, we all get older, we all don't have. Everybody goes through some same cycle. Like even if people think like no, to some people can lack at some point in time. So when I went to different places in the world in different countries, what I realized is a lot of our fears that we think we have is just based on the geographical positioning of what we live around. So when I was in South America, I saw so many different people who were happy, and the same things that we sit here and fear in this country, it's like there's no fear whatsoever. Like, oh, what if this when they go out into this, or what if this happens, or I fear not having enough money and all this stuff. And it's like these people are so happy, living off the land and the trees and the little markets right there, and happy and dancing all the time and still praising God. And it just made me think about this stuff like, why are we so afraid of the things that we think we're afraid of when it really doesn't like exist? Like it really doesn't exist. Like, oh, I'm afraid of people, of what they're gonna think. I'm afraid of people that's gonna judge me. And it's just like, okay. So now you have to spend your money on these expensive clothes just to make people look at you a certain way, but they're still gonna talk. Eliminate that fear. They're still gonna talk anyway. Oh, I'm afraid that
Hey, Janice.
I'm gonna pass away or this or that. And it's just like, how many people passed away before us? And our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, it's like it's a natural part of the world. And if we know that God, if we're with God and you put your mindset and say, can you please remove this limiter from my mind about dying? It's like if you know that heaven and all this and you're promised that, then what is there to be afraid of? And if you're the worst of the worst, it's like you might not even be around to experience hell. According to that, if you're the worst of the worst, you'll be erased. like in the lake of fire, you'll be erased. So it's just like, then you cease to exist. Remember, do not fear those who can destroy the body, but fear those who can destroy or eliminate the soul. If you go into the lake of fire, you're done. You're erased from existence. So fear then becomes what you make fear to be inside your mind as a mindset. So now every time it's like if I think of something that I won't say fearful of, but if it's like, okay, this might be a slight word, I'm like, okay, God, please help me with this. Okay, next. And keep yourself occupied and stop worrying about others. Like if you do your part completely, that's what I start to realize. So many people are like pointing fingers and this, and I bet he's this, and I bet she's that. And it's just like, all while that person could be very happy and be given the means to do what they do to go out and help homeless people. Or every day they walk
Hold up.
outside.
Hold up, real. Can you repeat what you said about don't worry about others? Because somebody needs to hear that again.
So I said, don't worry about others, because if you're sitting there worrying about them and having these thoughts about somebody, right? Like, okay, yeah, this person did this, or this person's bad, or yeah, God gonna get them, and all this kind of stuff. How do you know that they haven't already like repented or doing something else, and you're just holding on to something inside your mind, which has no merit or value, right? But you're sitting there thinking about it, or every time you see this person, it's like, I don't like this person, or I bet he's this and that. And it's like they could be having a whole completely different life, be happy, have a family, be married, have kids, be an entrepreneur and humanitarian. Like people don't know, but they go off what they're based on what they see. So once I started to realize this, I'm like, listen, people, why are you putting your energy into something else when you could reflect that energy at yourself and just stop worrying about other people? It's like, have that fear erased, because that's a fear too. I fear this person. Like you might not think it's a fear, but it's like if you're constantly putting worry or stalking this person or looking at this person, or I can't stand this wing up here, and it's just like, what, why? Why? It's like the internet has been already planted in stone that it's going to be the internet. No matter what kind of peace, no matter what kind of happiness, no matter who stands still we put up, it's only going to reach but so many people. And there's still going to be trolls, haters, jealous people, all this kind of stuff. So once you realize that, it's like, why worry about this person? Oh, I'm going to put my energy. And it's like, okay.
But don't you think it's a like more I don't want to be like saying it's just us, but don't you think it's because of in America, a lot of us, most Americans are just, just let's just keep it real. We're spoiled. Even when we're in our worst place, it's still not as worse as other countries.
Exactly. And that's what I guess I mentioned about going to different countries. They're
Yeah,
happy.
yeah, and we're just so spoiled and thinking we have to have everything, and so
Thank you.
and even when people because I used to find myself doing this, just because I was successful or what I call a level of success, I wanted everybody to do it, and some people don't care about having too much or a lot or whatever it is that you care about.
Exactly.
And
No,
so you
you're
have to
right.
meet people where they are, and if they're content and happy without having everything that you have, then really it's kind of like none of your business. All you can do is just try to, if they need some assistance, wait, you can offer your assistance. That doesn't mean you have to try to tell them what to do. And that's just something that I had to learn along the way, because I used to try to fix everybody, and so I told you guys this before. I had to learn how to get out of people's business and let people, and when I say people, I mean my family, because those are the people that I was trying to fix, right? And so sometimes you have to just let people be who they are, and you have to be okay with that. And so it was real hard for me to swallow that pill, but baby, I got it. I got the assignment now.
Okay. I agree.
Hmm.
Can't fix everybody else.
No, you really can't. And so I had to stop trying, Alice, because I
Mhm.
really was, you know, I really had to stop trying. So
Yeah,
I don't.
it's really a waste of time.
It is. It's a
And
waste of
time is
time.
something you can't get back.
But
Mm-mm.
people are not going to want to hear that though. People think that, oh, it's this, it's almost a form of pride where it's just like, no, I'm have put together a Frankenstein of who I say is what this needs or this world needs, right? And it's like that's what people do. They cherry pick what they think is right, what they think is not right, and then they let it be their being, and then they impose that being on others. And then if you don't follow that being, it's like you're wrong. You better listen to me, isn't it? And it's like, no, what you have created right there is to help maybe 5 people, 10 people, 100 people,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody is not the same, and everybody's not meant to be successful. If everybody was successful, right, certain people wouldn't be able to have their food cooked for them, right? Certain people wouldn't be able to have their houses clean because then everybody wouldn't be doing those jobs. And I tell people, stop talking like that. Like, oh, this person I see stuff. Okay, I congratulate the electricians that might come to my house, or the people that might fix plumbing or something like that, or you didn't came and fix the boiler. Thank you. You might not have a lot, but if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't get fixed. When we
Well,
want
also too, though, don't you feel like if everybody was successful, it would make us more selfish and possibly send us to hell because we wouldn't care about anybody else?
What if everybody was successful?
Hmm. Because you
Oh,
wouldn't have a job to do. You
but
would,
that's why I said
yeah,
everybody's not
you
meant to be
wouldn't.
successful.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying if they were, don't you feel like,
Oh yeah, because
no,
nobody
no,
will want to do anything.
yeah,
Everybody
nobody
will
would
have
want to
this.
do anything. Yeah,
Yes, everybody will be like, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm supposed to be up here. I'm supposed to be up here." And it's just
yeah,
like this is why everybody's created differently. This is why there's tall people, short people, stocky people, thin people, people who have shorter hips, people who have, wider upper body, because we were all built and created for something different. If you look at this
exactly.
nation, these people are built for, okay, these Eskimos, they're short, but they're stock and they have a lot of dense muscle, but they're tiny. They're made for picking up stuff and foraging. Okay. And you go to Africa, the people are tall and slender with extra long calf muscles and an extra side on their tendon for their Achilles tendons. They're made for running. Once we start to realize that, everybody can't do the same thing. Like you just can't. You just
Well, what's for you is for you, and
exactly.
I just kind of learned that whatever your gift is, you just go ahead and try to use your gift, and don't try to avoid it because you ain't gonna
Hey,
get
Janice.
you will get convicted, and you won't get to sleep or whatever it is. Let me just put it like this: God will take whatever it is you like. He will take it away from you if you don't really do what He wants you to do. I'm gonna just put that out there.
Yeah, and if
When it comes to success, I think success
it's
is
different
depending
for
on that person, what you define as success.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
yeah,
people who are making $20 an hour see themselves as better than somebody who's making $10 an hour, and somebody who's making $40 an hour may look down on somebody who's making $20 an hour. But in the grand scheme of things, billionaires looking down on everybody.
exactly.
So
Everybody fighting for crumbs, but they're up there sitting at a round table, sitting here laughing at people like on the internet, on these social media things, out in public. Like, look at these people fighting amongst each other, sitting here just laughing.
right,
And
right.
they laughing at everybody because they're the ones who's taking advantage of everybody, and they're the ones who's
Uh-huh.
got everybody fighting against each other. Meanwhile,
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones who's ripping everybody off,
Eh,
Yep.
eh,
and they make you feel that way, you know. Not to turn this political or anything, but they do that purposely so that they can stay billionaires. So you won't be looking at them; you'll be looking at everybody else. Meanwhile, they're filling their pockets up.
Exactly, and it goes beyond that. Like but I'm not gonna get into that. But certain people, it's like when I seen and realize certain things, it's like even things that we think is right and good. It's like certain things have been tampered with, and it's just like, okay, well, we're going to say this is this, but guess what, we're going to make like 20 different versions of this same thing just so you people can fight amongst each other. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, no, this can't be true. And then once you really realize it's true and it's funded to be true, and if you go off that trueness, you won't get funding for it. I'm like, oh,
Well, it's kind of like the moments that we're having, like right now, what Alice alluded to earlier, you know, about everybody better stick together because of the position that we're in now. And the people that thought they were better than other people, you know, everybody know who I'm talking about. We know what class of people who thought they was better than everybody else are slowly but surely finding out that they're not so special. Like, you know, they're not as special as they thought they were, and that things are going to touch them that never touched them before, that they didn't think was going to touch them, because they thought it was going to touch everybody else except for them. And now that it's hitting home, now everybody, you know, are regretful and upset because they thought it was going to put another, you know,
right.
They thought it was going to happen to others, when in actuality it's happening to everyone.
You know, it's funny you say that, because there was somebody, like, you know, basically who, like, I helped, right? And he sat there and held my hand and talked to me and told me, and his words really hit home. He said, I am so surprised that you even took your time out walking down their street. And he's like, I was just sitting here inside this hot day, and of all people, I don't want to sound, you know, crazy or racist or nothing, but you asked me how my day was, and am I thirsty, and, you know, would I mind interviewing you? Would you like something to eat? And he said, my own kind treat me like crap because I'm excited. And this is a, you know, non-melanated guy we're talking about, you know.
Exactly.
Right.
You know.
And he was so surprised that a man of color cared about him. And he said, this is a shock to him, because he thought that, oh, this, that. And he said his own kind treat him like crap, like ish, like he ain't nothing. But yet a person who he, you know, oh, this guy's the side of a fitted. He's walking down the street. Got my dress clothes too, but I don't like wearing that hot stuff all the time. And he just figured something else. And it made him rethink and evaluate his life and his thought process. He was just like, this is just crazy. And he just
more
kept,
than likely he was raised that way, to think that way though.
Right.
You know, a lot of that stuff begins at home. You know, you're there, like you said, people would teach you the wrong thing, and then when you get out in life, you get to see that, hey, that wasn't so right after all. You know, it's not as bad as it, you know, these people are not as bad as I thought they were, because that's really how a lot of this stuff is going today. You know, it's not something that you're born with. It's a behavior that is taught to you to think a certain way about certain people. It's a learned behavior. It's not something that's automatic.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I think too. It's like a learned behavior, but I've seen certain, you're welcome, instances where I've seen kids be afraid of darker people. I don't know what causes that, but I've seen, you know, babies.
A learned behavior. Something that they haven't seen before.
Gotcha.
And if you haven't been taught anything, because you would feel the same way if you never seen people without melanin in their skin and you seen them, you would think that they were aliens.
Yeah. And it's sad that we have to be that way. And I'm just like, now people have to realize now it goes beyond the level of skin color. And when people realize this, now it's almost about haves and have nots, like who has money and who doesn't.
All right.
You know, I'm starting to see, I mean, in some cases you could slide through, but it's like now anybody can go through now and you know, like,
right. Anybody can be homeless. Anybody can be up and anybody can be down at this point.
Exactly, because I've seen, like, you know, there's blacks too who are millionaires around me, and I'm just like, you know, anybody can be up or down. It could be Indians, it could be this or what, and then there's, you know, the non-melanated who might be on, you know, pharmaceuticals, and then now their own kind treats them like, you know, trash, and then but the black guy who owns this business or got this, you know, company or this LLC or something, it's like he's treated with respect. He don't even have to spend money on them. But now that they see that you're doing something, it's like, oh, I don't care about my own kind. Here, you're doing something. Like it's crazy. It's all mixed up.
Well, let me just say this. I don't like the place that we're in America, but I think it was a necessary evil in order to wake people up because we all thought too much and highly of ourselves, and that's every race.
Hmm.
We all are too way too spoiled and think we have to have everything. And really we all think that we're better than other countries in my opinion. This is just my opinion. And so I feel like with the class is such a big deal in America. And if everybody's going to be in the same class, then it changes your attitude and your perspective. And I just think this, I don't like what we're in, right? What we're going through, but I feel like it was necessary just in order to bring everybody down a peg or two and to humble some people. That's all.
Good, and it's a good thing. But
And to see things in a different eyesight, in a different lens, and to so that everybody can understand um, we all gonna go to the same place. You know, all of us got a born date and a date that we're not gonna be
exactly.
here. And if we all go on the operating table, when you cut us open, we all gonna turn red inside. We all got the same red inside. And so I think we kind of got away from that in America, and everybody, you know, some people was thinking that they were better than others, or even just with the classism. You know, some people who got the haves thinking that they're better than the have-nots. But if everybody have not, then it kind of make you appreciate, you know, it kind of when everybody is kind of in the same position or everybody see what's going on, it kind of humble you a little bit and it kind of make you realize you are your brother's keeper or your sister's keeper.
Exactly. And there's
We
no need
are,
to
yeah,
be
yeah, and there's no need to treat people bad just because they don't have what you have, or or in my instance, don't try to have no hard heart because it ain't it's not of God.
exactly. But that see that
Right.
makes no sense. It makes no sense. And
Yeah.
then it's all
Well,
by
hold on,
design
hold
too.
on, hold on. Alice back there cheerleading. What you writing about, Alice?
I'm just agreeing with you. You know, don't you want me to agree with you?
I don't care if you agree with me or not, Alice. You know I'm not
Mhm,
like
yes, you do.
that. I'm the type of person you can have whatever opinion you want to have.
Well, I agree with
Yeah.
that comment.
Mhm. No.
It's
And it's all by
okay.
design too. They see
Yeah.
that this is gonna happen, right? And it doesn't matter what anybody says and all this and that. They know that this is gonna happen, and you know who's gonna come save the day, and he said he would. Elon. He said he sees what's happening, all this stuff, and he has already written up a
Oh,
plan.
I don't think so. I don't
No,
think
for
so.
a universal basic income, meaning
Oh,
if everybody starts to fall or fail, and this person and a lot of people get fired and all that stuff, and people can't work, he's gonna come. But it's like that's what they do. It's like I'm gonna cause this, and then come in and
well,
oh, let me
I know
save the day.
somebody more powerful than Elon, okay?
Oh,
And
we
so
know that.
Elon can think that he's gonna be the savior, but I wholeheartedly feel he's not gonna save us. Ain't nobody gonna save us but Jesus.
No,
And so,
of
and
course,
and
but
Amen.
for the
and
time
for the
being, you
time
know how
being, yeah, he
he's
can think
given
that he's in
power,
charge. Yeah,
and
he
then
can.
it's gonna fall down. We know how
Well,
the story's gonna go.
but and that's what I'm saying. All of them can feel like that they're in charge and think
Hey,
that
who
they're in
that?
charge, but God say He give it, and He also can take it away. He give life.
Amen.
He give. It's like your mom say, "I brought you in this world, but I can also take you out." God have that same concept. Okay,
Hmm.
so
No, you're right.
you may not be here. You may not be here to try to cause a lot of heartache and pain on everybody. So they
Hmm.
may want to watch out what they're doing and watch their steps. I'm just saying because
Yeah, no,
the
you're
steps that
right.
they're taking is definitely not ordered by the Lord.
No, but they've been doing this for hundreds or even thousands of years. That's what these warlords do, or these conquerors. We know this,
But time may be up for them. That's all
but
I'm saying.
time is getting short.
Yeah, it's
And the
running
thing
thin.
is, I have my thoughts on that too. I'm like, what if that already happened? And then that's the great delusion that God is going to send. And what if it is? And we're the people that are the remnants? Because after the flood, when everything came down and the star fell, what if we're those people? And after the 1,000 years, we're supposed to figure this out. That because you know how Satan is so rampant right now. and doing crazy things. What if we're in that time where he was like unleashed and we just don't know it?
But
That may not be true, but it's a thought.
but Ecclesiastes tell us it's nothing new under the sun, so it's already done
Right,
happened before.
right.
Remember Pilate them, and King Herod. Remember all them people. So it's already happened before. Okay, and
Hmm.
so um,
Oh yeah, you're right. It's
uh,
gonna be just like the days of Noah, so it's gonna repeat
yeah,
itself.
yeah, it just may repeat itself or what have you. But the thing is, you just got to make sure that you got, because all you can be accountable for is yourself.
Hmm.
No matter what happens in the world, you still got to make sure that you holding true to yourself and you doing what you're supposed to be doing. And like you said, you said it best. You can't worry about what everybody else doing. You got to worry about what you doing,
Exactly. As
and
soon as I get off this app,
make sure your house is in order, and don't worry about everybody else's house, because whatever everybody else is doing, it's gonna happen anyway. There's nothing that you can do about that. All you could do is worry about what you do.
right, right. And that's what I'm trying to. I'm not worried about what people do, but I'm trying to set an example with the whole. Okay, if somebody like me can do it, y'all could do it too. That's your little part. Because once you impart yourself on helping somebody out or helping the homeless or doing something, that could give those people hope and then give other people hope. And then if this person starts doing it, that person starts doing it, it could help prepare people for what's going to happen and what's going to come. Because I always say that on my live, y'all better stop doing this stuff because we're going to need each other. And people got to stop this. I don't need nobody. I just, okay, let 5, 10 years go past, or you break your ankle, or you become sick, or you can't stay up all night, but you're going to need somebody else to like keep watch. It's like people got to stop with this whole, oh, this and I don't need and I got. It's just like, if God made us to work together, that's what he made us to do. Like, that's what we're supposed to do. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, well, that's why I said I feel like this time had to come in order for everybody to get their house in order. So that's why I said it may be a necessary evil for us to have to go through this so that we can understand, what we're really supposed to be doing and how we're really supposed to be helping each other out.
yeah, and I'm gonna keep going because there's people who tried to scam the things that we were trying to do and get it for other parts in other countries, and it had to be talked about in a different sector because people were doing certain things and scamming. But you know what? It got spoken upon, and we saw that this person was lying, but we just kept it moving. And I told those people, listen, just don't worry about it. So what? So what?
Well, it's a lot of people already on the right track. I just feel like it's just some people that's not. And so I feel like, we have to go through, we're having to go through what we have to go through so everybody can, get on the right track. But that's all, and that's it. But Alice, I appreciate you allowing me to come on the panel today. I don't want to keep you too much longer. And I really just wanted to come and share my little testimony, child.
Well, I appreciate you coming and sharing your testimony because somebody else needed to hear that. Somebody else who can't sleep and wondering why they can't sleep
Mm-hmm.
need to think about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Especially if it's
Oh
something on
yeah.
their heart and they seeing something they know they supposed to be doing. If they not
Hmm.
doing, take it from me, from experience, child. You better go and do what you're supposed to do so
Yeah.
you can get some rest.
Or
Somebody's
just
yawning right now. They can't even. They're probably watching this live from the bushes or whatever, and they can't. They know that God is pulling on them. Last
Mm-hmm.
you said, whipping them,
Mm-hmm.
but they hard headed, and sometimes God has to let us go through things to realize that
Take
He
away
really
what we like.
is
Take away some things
right.
we like to do.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Hey, Tina Mo Show.
He
Thank
know
you for
exactly how to get you.
he does.
this is why I'm glad I don't
Going
like
to
so
get
many
your
things.
attention. Yeah, he's going to get your attention one way or the other.
Yes, ma'am. I can definitely testify
So
to
good for
that.
you. I'm glad that you did um, come up and share that because, like I said, somebody else needed to hear that. And
Well,
I'm
Yeah.
sure you do
I
the right
hope
thing.
so. I hope I hope by me, just telling my little story, can help someone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really wasn't even planning on telling nobody the story, but for whatever reason, God put it on my heart. Now I'll tell this story, I'll tell the truth.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that you did that because I had to go through something like that. And I had so much savings that I had put out. And one of my family members, they were older. And I had to travel from my state to another state to help them because those family members wouldn't. But they were upset with me. And it was like, I kind of lost a lot too because at that point, I'm like, okay, I became this and a POV. And then I just was like, you know what, let me put my money here. And lo and behold, because I had a settlement from the military, freaking $300,000 gone. Because when you put them inside of a nursing home,
Mm-hmm.
they use up all your money first, and then that's when I guess something whatever for the older people is called Medicare kicks in and did it. So it's a lesson learned. But
Well,
if
baby, I don't know. You should talk to me first because that ain't how that's supposed to go.
I was young, I was.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you just just like my little sister, she didn't know how to dot the I's and cross the T's. But because this is not my first rodeo, so I knew how to dot the I's and cross the T's and, put everybody on the stick.
Mm-hmm. Because they see that grief and they'll try to weigh in on that and all this and sign this over and do this. And
Yeah.
I know.
Well, it's not so much about grief, it's inexperience.
Hey, Saint Center, how are
I mean,
you?
hey, Saint, but they may, and hey, Tina, they and who that, but they may see grief, but they may see
Yeah.
whatever it is that they see, and they'll try to take advantage of it if they feel like they can get you. So you definitely got to know what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing when you're taking care of business like that, because everybody's in the business of keeping the money, in their pocket, not giving it out to the people that actually deserves it.
That's dumb. And they're going to get whatever that comes to them. That's why I like to show transparency. Any money that I get donated to me, even though it's somebody else higher than me that runs it, my sister, whatever, I make sure that I go out there and I'm just like, this is what's going from these super chats, or this is I'm gonna go feed the homeless with out of my own pocket. And some people like that, and they're like, oh, but I'm a little leery about with some of the stuff that I put up there because
Right.
I don't want.
Because you're absolutely right. No matter how good you try to be or how good you try to
Mhm.
do, you always gonna have somebody that's gonna critique you or say he's being deceitful or he's lying or he's not doing
And
what
I'm
he's
ready
saying
for
he's
them
gonna
to say
do.
that because I'm going to go right down to my town hall, show my newspaper clippings and all this stuff. I've been doing this for a while. Like I've been
Well, I
can't talk
understand
about
that,
it.
but I'm just
I'm
saying,
ready.
yeah, but you're
I'm
always
ready.
going. I'm just saying this. You're always gonna have a doubter, so you can't worry about those people. All you can do is worry about what you're doing, and
I'm
just
not. I'm
yeah,
not
and
because
just keep
yeah.
doing what you're doing and do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah, like because I see like when you help these people, like I don't even put everything on tape, but even down to the Spanish people, some people don't like them. But I'm like, I see this person's really trying. It's not their fault. This person came here pregnant and stuff. It's just like I give them my bottles, like I'll save up 5, 6 bags and they're happy. Now they got $25 that they can go, but I stopped doing that because now they're fighting for this route. They're like, this is mine, my black man with the bottles. No, it's mine. It's like funny. But it's like whoever you can help.
Not, not my black man.
My black man, okay,
That's what they say. Like
That
my
sound like
morena about.
that
Trump,
sound like I said what I said's friend.
right? Agent Orange, my blacks.
Oh yeah, right.
Those are my
My
blacks, my black people.
I remember that. Look at
Yeah,
my black friend right here. My
yeah,
black chocolate figure here. It's like
right.
okay, Moogie.
All right,
But
guys, I'm gonna drop down. But
yeah,
Alice, thanks for allowing me to be on the panel today. Real, it's been great talking to you as always.
yeah.
You know,
Y'all
Thank you
all good.
again. I appreciate you coming
you're
up.
my friend.
Well, thank you, thank you.
I
But the
give you a
people,
hard time, but I like you, bro.
oh no, yeah. Like at the end of the day, it's just like whether people like me or not. It's just like I don't know. It's like there's something inside my mind that's so different. It's just like for that moment, it's just like
I know that's why I gotta
and then
make that affirmation because I know how your mind be. So
no,
I'll be
it's
like,
like,
girl,
and
I
then
gotta
I
let
go
Real
on.
know.
No, because I don't want to consider. No, it's not good. It's not that it's not good for me. If I consider somebody, okay, you don't like me, then it's
Yeah,
just like, okay, bye. Like
right,
next,
right,
because I have so
right.
much stuff to be happy for. Like that's how I look at my life. Not
Hmm.
talking about monetary, but just like having life and being able to have this and a fat like it.
Yeah, I
Like, what is
understand.
there to be miserable for? Like, what is there to be miserable? And online just, it's like crazy.
I totally understand, real. So I was just making a little affirmation. That's all, bro.
No, thank you. No, I appreciate it because I know people who think like, oh, he's the girl. I'm out there getting footage. I'm helping these people out. I'm supporting so many people's channels. I'm helping build up my niece's page. So that's why I
Right,
be missing.
right.
But people,
You got the right name. You got the
yeah,
right name.
I was trying, and so many
Mhm.
people like that's why I get people renters on my channel. Like, it's not about me. That's why I've been like, listen, y'all, everybody connect. If I go up, y'all going up. And people have thanked me like, well, wow, I just got 5 subscribers because now I found somebody who actually want to watch my stuff. Because,
Mm.
everybody, so I'm
I,
not no gatekeeper.
I
I
got
don't
you.
know.
I got you. All right, you guys have a great day. I'm gonna drop
All
Y'all
down.
have
right,
a
you
good one.
too. I say what I said.
Okay.
You have anything else you want to say, real?
Nope. Just glad everybody's doing okay. And like I said, if there's a heaviness or anything weighing on somebody, just ask for that limiter to be put in and to just be doing. It's not about doing the right thing. It's about doing the thing that you're supposed to do. Because you could be doing something and you think it's right. Well, this is good, but is that your purpose? Is that what you're supposed to be doing? Is that what your creative ability from the Most High is given to you to do? And once you start to do it, and everything will fall into place. And it's not really that hard. Like it might seem hard, but once you put your mind into a state of this is not hard, let me just do it. Stop looking over here, stop looking over there, thinking everything else is better when it's truly not. And just stand in your place and then walk on your path. Like that's how you gotta do it. Whether it's boring or not, you still gotta do it. All
Well,
right,
thank
y'all.
you. I appreciate you coming up and sharing again. And have a blessed and wonderful rest of your evening.
Same here. Everybody be good. Who that? Janice, Tina, Saint, Santa, Cinnabon, Alice, everybody. Y'all take it easy.
You too. All right. So I'm going to show those numbers again, y'all, just in case somebody missed it and wants to see the information for anyone who may be in need of any kind of mental health assistance. Thanks, Justin Tabasco. You as well. I appreciate you joining and supporting. So let me pull this up real quick, y'all. And I'm going to so take this information. You can take a picture of it. You can screenshot or whatever. But if you know somebody needs immediate help with fear and anxiety, here's the number that they can text or call. Also, you can text HOME home to 741-741 to reach the crisis text line. And these services offer 24/7 support and are free and confidential. So if you need anyone, if you know anyone, or if you yourself are suffering, you don't have to suffer in silence. And I know that this is not Mental Health Awareness Month, but every month should be mental health awareness. So I'll take this down and let me play a quick commercial break, and I'll be right back. So again, thanks everyone who joined. I truly appreciate your support. I'm going to call out the names of those who spoke in the chat. First person was SBK, one of the hardest working men I know. Then we have Larry King. We have Shadow. Shadow didn't tell us what this live was sponsored by today. He seems to be falling back. I don't know what's going on, Shadow. Let me know. We have Thrive and Glow with Joe. Thank you for joining. I appreciate your support as always. We have Jackson Tabasco. Thank you, sis, for joining. I truly appreciate your support as well. Miss Buckeye, thank you again. I truly appreciate you. Charlie's Angel, thank you again for joining. I truly appreciate you as well. El Cid, thank you again for your support. I truly appreciate it as well. Who that? Thank you so much for joining. And as always, for your support. Tina, thank you so much for joining, and as always, for your support. Saint Center, thank you. I think this is your first time in one of my lives, Saint Center. I truly appreciate you stopping by and supporting as well. And then we have my moderators. I said what I said. Real Odds and Evens, Shay, Abril, Center, and Janice. And then I said what I said, and Real joined the panel today. So thank you all for your support. I truly appreciate it. For those who may be watching the replay, I appreciate you as well. And for those who were watching from the bushes, but for some reason were not able to say anything, I truly appreciate your support as well. And remember that God loves you even more than I do, and I really do love you all. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope to see you again on Monday, where we will have another conversation. I'm not sure of what the topic will be, but I will move as I feel being led by God. Again, enjoy the rest of your evening and stay blessed. After the music, we will be out.